Shalom, shalom, video blog number 2 from Israel. These are going to be on YouTube and then jewishandy.blogspot.com, which also features photos and videos from around Jerusalem, and I'll probably occasionally write as well. It's so much easier to do these videos. But, you know, I'll type up some stuff as well and post that there as well, so you can keep up with me there. Video blog number 2, I wanted to talk about the Hebrew class I'm doing. It's called an Ulpan, which I guess translates as Hebrew class. It's about 5 hours a day from about 8:30 to 1:15, and time flies, by the way. It doesn't feel like 5 hours. I don't know what 5 hours feels like because I've never really taken a 5-hour class before. I think at Berkeley my longest class was like some of the grad seminars were like 2 hours, so I don't really have a frame of reference for what 5 hours of studying should feel like. But I've been doing that for a week now and have learned a lot. I feel like I learned a lot. I can pretend to talk to people and kind of understand what they're talking about when they're talking at me. And actually for the first time someone walked up to me and started talking in Hebrew, and normally I just say immediately, you know, slicha, ani lo madaber ivrit, which means, you know, excuse me, because I'm interrupting them, I don't speak Hebrew, and then I ask them if they speak English. Although for the first time yesterday, I guess it was yesterday, someone started talking to me in Hebrew, and I didn't really correct them, and then I kind of figured out what they were saying and answered and gave them directions, because they were asking where the hospital is, which is on the way from where I live. You pass the hospital. First you pass the graveyard, which is a World War I English cemetery. I should go and take a picture. It's a really nice cemetery. It's full of Christians. There's like crosses on all the graves. It's like right in the middle of where I live. First time we walked by, we didn't know what it was. We're like, why are all these Christian people buried here? Granted, there are a lot of Christians in Israel. It's not only Jewish people. But it was, you know, weird to see that, like the very first thing we saw when we left the student housing. So yeah, British in Palestine during World War I. I don't really know anything about that, what they were doing. Fighting the Germans? Fighting the Turks? Fighting the Ottomans? I have no idea. Anyway, so it goes from the student housing, graveyard, hospital, Aroma Cafe, campus. So I was at Aroma Cafe, and the guy's talking to me in, you know, in Hebrew, and my basic Heblish, I hear hospital, which apparently is not the word in Hebrew, so maybe he figured out that I wasn't really understanding him. But anyway, I pointed him where he was supposed to go. It was like right down the street, I just kind of pointed. But that was like my first, you know, not indicating that I do not know Hebrew conversation, which was very good. Even though class is at 7:30, I haven't been late yet. I was like kind of late today. It was like after 7:30, but class hadn't started yet, so like technically late, but not really late. And the reason I was late today was because I stopped to help a blind girl. It's like a mitzvah. It's like a good thing to do, commandment. Mitzvah, 613 of them. You Christians have 10. We've got like a whole list of them. Anyway, I'm leaving the building. She thinks the elevator's broken, I guess, because maybe it wasn't making noise, and blind people are used to elevators making noise when they come or something. I think it was working, but she didn't think it was working. She had to get to the stairs and like around the back of the building. She didn't know where they were, so she like grabbed my arm and I like took her to the stairs. Except that I'm not so good. Like I hadn't really done the hold my arm while I lead you blind person thing before, and so I just kind of started up the stairs and didn't really warn her, and she kind of bumped into him. She didn't like trip. She just kind of got startled. Anyway, so other than that, always been to class on time. We sit in the same spot every time, I guess just because habit. And so I sit next to Lena, who is Danish, and we are kind of study buddies, and she's a little better with language than me. It's that European thing. She speaks like, you know, 20 languages. But it's great because she's very helpful with me when I'm struggling. But all in all, we're able to, you know, kind of be at a good pace with each other, so that's really good. I think I'd be really frustrated if I was paired up with someone who was way ahead of me or way behind me in terms of Hebrew acquisition skills. So we do a fair amount of like read this dialogue in the book together, or talk about, you know, movies or food or something like that. But it's like, I like movies. Do you like movies? Do Do you go to movies? I go to movies. Like that's when we have to talk about something, that's basically the conversation we're having so far. So we do a lot of that partner dialogue. The teachers, there's 2 of them, they take turns usually throughout the course of the day, try and speak a lot in Hebrew, like more in Hebrew than in English. So they do a lot of pantomiming. It'll be like shote, which is drink. It'll be like shote, until we get it. And then we write down, like in Hebrew, we write, shin, tav, hey. I don't know how to spell. I have to learn how to spell by tomorrow. There's a quiz. So we write it down. And sometimes people get frustrated because they're doing a new verb and like they're doing the pantomiming of something. It's like read or, write. And the teachers like won't say the word in English. They just keep doing it. People be like, what's it in English? And they're just like, kore, like over and over again until eventually we whisper, to the people who can't figure out the pantomiming. So there's a lot of that. We're picking up, we know all the pronouns, we know a lot of all the prepositions. I don't know how many prepositions there are. We don't teach grammar in America, so I don't really know how many there are. We know a lot of prepositions, some nouns, some verbs. We don't know like past tense, or there's still like whole basic swaths of the dictionary we don't know. Like I can't say like yesterday or tomorrow, or kind of those basic. It makes it really hard when you want to just say like a really simple sentence and you don't have the words for it. But we're learning a lot rapidly. Learning curve, hooray. The teachers are both really, really good. Rachel and Yonat. Yonat's younger, Rachel's older. They're funny, they make puns, they make fun of us. One of them was mocking me today. I can't remember what I did that she like made fun of me for. But whatever. We learned the numbers today, which is really useful. We learned how to tell time. Those are like the really basic things that you'd think we learned the first day, like numbers, and they teach us numbers. But the elevator talks when you go to different floors. So now I'm going to know what it's saying. Like, shtaim, shalosh, arba, hamesh. We threw this ball around, and every time you threw the ball, you had to say the next number. So we all learned like the numbers in order. But it's like that, muscle memory basically, where the next number from the previous number, and then so she had us reverse it and do it in reverse order, and no one knew what was going on. But we do a lot of those like interactive activities where like we walk around with each other, or we get in groups and they like bring candy for us sometimes. And one time she brought juice, water, and wine, and we practiced saying like I want juice or I drink wine. And so there's a whole class of like 16 of us, only like 2 of us were wanting the wine, which I thought was funny because it's like free alcohol, you might as well drink it. Yayin, which is wine, mayim, which is water, and meats, which is juice. They love juice in Israel, by the way. It's like orange juice, grapefruit juice, strawberry juice, but everywhere you go, you have like a barbecue or like dinner, I have like 3 kinds of juice. It's crazy, but I love juice. I love how much Israelis love juice. I think it's cheap too. I'm not so good at knowing prices. I bought like a bunch of cheap stuff at the store, but I didn't really know conversion then. I couldn't really ask because I didn't know Hebrew. So, but I think the juice is cheap. I hope it's cheap because I like a lot of juice, although I haven't bought any yet. Anyway, so there's homework basically every day now. We've had 1 quiz. We have like a big test on Thursday. We had a big list of stuff for the test. Tomorrow there's a dictation, which I haven't studied for, which is like spelling. Spelling is hard because there's no vowels, there's silent letters, there's multiple letters for like T and H. It's hard. It's not impossible, but she gave us the list of all the words we need to know. There's only like 20 or 30 of them. It's just going to be like, the student lives at Mount Scopus, the student goes to university, the student likes university, the student studies Hebrew. It's like 20 words, make a bunch of sentences like that, so we have to learn how to spell them. I think we only got 1 homework back so far. I got like check plus, A, whatever. There was only like 3 or 4 of us that did well in the homework, so I was one of them. It took me like an hour and a half to do this like really basic homework sheet, so glad I did well. That'd be humiliating if I didn't do so well. So that's Hebrew class, I guess. I feel like, I could talk for an hour about what's going on there. There's some specific things about Hebrew that I'm going to type up probably instead of saying. Like Wheel of Fortune Hebrew is kind of how the learning goes. Anyway, so you can see jewishandy.blogspot.com, some of the stuff I write up. And next week I'll talk more about Hebrew class because it takes up most of my time here.